beginning of 1916. The First World War, in which both sides of the conflict planned to win a quick victory, took on a positional character. The Entente and the Central Powers were not prepared for such a development of events, so they directed all their efforts to find a way that would allow them to win a decisive victory in the protracted confrontation. It was at this time that the idea of attracting small states to their side in order to gain a numerical superiority and ensure victory for themselves began to gain popularity among the Entente military command. One of these states was the Kingdom of Romania. The fact is that despite the fact that King Ferdinand I, who ruled Romania, was German, he was in no hurry to enter the war on the side of Germany and Austria-Hungary. Moreover, despite the insistence of the French military command, Romania was also in no hurry to enter the war on the side of the Entente. The Romanian kingdom maintained a position of armed neutrality until June 1916, when the Russian Imperial Army under the command of General Brusilov managed to break through the defenses of the Austro-Hungarian army and establish control over vast territories. It was at this moment that the Romanian government decided to enter the war on the side of the Entente, in exchange for a promise to transfer vast territories from Austria-Hungary to Romania after the end of the war. On August 14, 1916, Romania officially declared war on Austria-Hungary. It should be mentioned that not everyone was happy about Romania joining the Entente. For example, the Chief of Staff of the Supreme Commander-in-Chief of the Russian Army, General Alexeyev, was categorically against bringing Romania to the side of the Entente, since he considered the Romanian army incapable of combat. The fact is that neutral Romania acted as a buffer between the Russian Empire and the Central Powers and thereby ensured the protection of the Black Sea territories of the Russian Empire. Romania's entry into the war did not provide the Russian Empire with any advantages, but only created the threat of an attack by the Central Powers on the Black Sea territories. In turn, the Romanian government, which managed to assemble an army of 650,000 soldiers, looked at the upcoming military campaign with optimism. Immediately after the declaration of war against Austria-Hungary, the Romanian army invaded Transylvania. In the offensive, Romania involved a 400,000-strong group, led by Generals Crăineșianu and Prișan. Due to the overwhelming numerical advantage over the Austrian First Army under the command of Ars von Strassenberg, which ensured the defense of Transylvania, the Romanian army was lucky at the initial stage. She managed to push back the Austro-Hungarian troops 80 kilometers deep into Transylvania, but when they reached the outskirts of the city of Nagyszeben, they stopped. The fact is that it was during the attempts to storm the city of Nagyszeben that all the shortcomings of the Romanian army appeared, namely outdated artillery, low level of training of soldiers, and poor supplies. The city was defended by a relatively small Austro-Hungarian garrison, but the Romanian army, despite its overwhelming numerical advantage, could not force it to capitulate. Thus, already at the beginning of September, the Romanian army stopped attempting an offensive and took up defensive positions. Meanwhile, the Central Powers developed their own plan to defeat the Romanian army and force Romania to surrender. According to this plan, the Falkenhayn Group, which included the German Ninth Army and the Austrian First Army under the command of Strassenberg, was to advance from the north to the Romanian capital. And the Danube Army under the command of Mackensen, consisting of German, Bulgarian and Turkish divisions, was supposed to push back the Romanian troops in Dobruzhda and begin an attack on Bucharest from the south. Realizing that Romania would not be able to independently cope with the onslaught of the Central Powers, the command of the Russian army transferred Zajanchkovsky's 47th Corps to Dobruzhda, which was concentrated in the area of the city of Medzidia. It should be mentioned that even at the time of the transfer, Zajanchkovsky reported to Alexeyev that the forces allocated to him were clearly not enough to complete the task, but Alexeyev did not want to weaken important sections of the front by transferring additional forces to Romania. The Danube Army launched an offensive and, thanks to its numerical superiority, knocked out the 19th Romanian Division from the city of Bucharest within 2 days. The situation was saved by the 47th Russian Corps, which came to the rescue in time. The forces of the 47th Russian Corps, with the support of the 19th Romanian Division, were able to oust the enemy from Bucharest. The situation temporarily stabilized, but on September 6, the Danube Army managed to occupy the Tutrakan fortress and forced the 17th Romanian Division defending this section of the front to lay down its arms. The surrender of the 17th Romanian Division exposed the right flank of the 19th Romanian Division and the 47th Russian Corps. Taking advantage of the favorable situation, the Danube Army continued its advance deep into Dobruzhda. On the night of September 7, the 19th Romanian Division, whose morale had sharply decreased due to news of the surrender of the 17th Romanian Division, abandoned its positions and retreated to the north, thereby leaving the flank of the 47th Russian Corps without cover. To save the situation, on September 8, the Dobruzhdan Romanian Army was formed under the command of General Zayanchkovsky, which included the 47th Russian Corps, the 3rd and 5th Romanian Infantry Divisions, as well as the Romanian Cavalry Brigade. The Dobruzhdan Army took up defensive positions and tried to stop the advancing enemy, but was forced to retreat back under the pressure of the numerically superior Danube Army. On September 9, the city of Silistria fell into the hands of the Danube Army, which allowed it to continue its offensive into the depths of Dobruzhda. In this situation, on September 13, it was decided to withdraw the Dobruzhdan army to fortified positions on the line Rachov, Kobatin, Tuzla. In turn, despite having a numerical advantage, General Mackensen did not dare to attack the enemy's fortified positions with the available forces, but instead requested reinforcements. While the Danube army was waiting for reinforcements, the Falkenhayn Group began active operations. On September 30, she went on the offensive and almost immediately began to push back the Romanian divisions, which could not offer serious resistance to the well-trained and armed German troops. While Falkenhayn's group was pushing back the Romanian forces in the north, Mackensen's Danube army received the requested reinforcements and launched an attack on the fortified positions of the Romanian and Russian armies on October 19. Numerical superiority allowed the Danube army to knock out the Dobruzhdan army from fortified positions on October 23 and push it behind the Constanta-Cernavodă railway. On the same day, Mackensen's army was able to occupy the cities of Constance and capture large reserves of oil and lubricating oils. By the evening of October 24, the Danube army was able to establish control over the cities of Cernăvad and Medzidia and after that stopped the offensive, as it received orders to cross the Danube south of Bucharest. By the morning of November 21, Falkenhayn's group advancing from the north occupied the city of Craiova, and on November 23, the Danube army was able to form the Danube in the Sistovo area. Continuing the offensive from the north and south, the armies of the Central Powers reached the outskirts of the Romanian capital by the beginning of December. The Romanian army tried to carry out a counterattack to push the enemy away from Bucharest, but despite the losses incurred, it was not possible to achieve the desired result. Already on December 4, the Romanian divisions left Bucharest, giving it into enemy hands. The armies of the Central Powers began pursuing the retreating Romanian divisions and only the timely intervention of the 9th and 8th Russian armies, which carried out a local counter-offensive, made it possible to stop the enemy's advance on the Brailov-Foxani line, after which the fighting took on a positional character. To prevent further advance of the enemy, a Romanian front was formed, which included the 4th, 6th, 8th and 9th Russian armies, as well as the remnants of the 1st and 2nd Romanian armies. In February 1917, a revolution occurred in the Russian Empire, which negatively affected the combat effectiveness of the Russian army. However, in the summer of 1917, hostilities resumed as part of the June offensive planned by the provisional government. On June 20, the 4th and 6th Russian armies, together with the 1st Romanian army, launched an offensive towards the city of Foxani. At the initial stage, the offensive went quite successfully and the Russian-Romanian army managed to advance 20 kilometers into the enemy's defenses, but already on June 25 an order was received to stop the offensive, since due to the rapid disintegration of the Russian army caused by the publication of Order No. 1, there was a danger of the collapse of the front. Already on August 6, the Austro-German army under the command of Mackensen went on the offensive and attacked the Russian and Romanian divisions that had taken up defensive positions in the vicinity of the village of Marashti. The attack of the Austro-German troops failed and they were forced to return to their original positions. By September 8, active hostilities on the Romanian front had practically ceased. By the end of 1917, after the October Revolution, the Russian army completely stopped participating in hostilities. In this situation, on December 9, the Kingdom of Romania had to hastily sign a truce with the Central Powers and begin separate peace negotiations. On May 7, 1918, a separate peace treaty was signed between Romania and the Central Powers in Bucharest, according to which Romania had to make territorial concessions. It should be mentioned that the Romanian king turned out to be a very cunning man and therefore, despite the fact that the Romanian army ceased resistance, he was in no hurry to ratify the peace treaty. Therefore, when the Entente won victory in the First World War on November 11, 1918, Romania immediately demanded the abolition of the Bucharest Peace Treaty and was able to receive not only Transylvania promised by the Entente, but also Bessarabia, which had previously been part of the Russian Empire. If you liked this video, be sure to subscribe to my channel and click on the bell so you don't miss new videos.